And Lorin, since the attack by Hezbollah at the weekend, there are now real fears of a broader conflict in the region. How do you see this playing out now?
Well, the truth of the matter is, what's gone hugely underreported in so much of the media coverage of the conflict in Israel is that effectively since the 7th of October, Hezbollah has been indiscriminately shelling Israel and the north of Israel. There are around an estimated 60,000 people that have been displaced, internally displaced within Israel, because it is not safe for them to live in their communities along the Lebanon border. And I think one has to ask oneself, what country on earth would tolerate a reality in which 60,000 of their citizens had to be displaced because of rocket attacks from a terrorist organization? And this is the huge dilemma. Of course, there is now questions about whether any kind of escalation is going to happen and what kind of response Israel is going to come up with. Because I think a lot of, even a lot of the Druze community are saying, why, what are you going to do about this? You can't let this stand. So it's not just a question of Israeli aggression. It's a lot of the a lot of the Druze community is demanding action on this for what they see as what is a horrific killing of 12 children playing football by a terrorist organization.
It's absolutely terrible. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this. A judo competitor representing Tajikistan in the Olympics has refused to shake his Israeli opponent's hand and instead said Allahu Akbar. Lorin, what happened to the spirit of the Games being about good sportsmanship?
Well, indeed, I think it's just absolutely wrong that this kind of thing happens and goes unpunished. Although some commentators have said that he got what was described as karma in the end, because in a later fight against a Japanese contender, he got absolutely slammed to the ground and dislocated his shoulder and started crying from the pain, which, we wouldn't wish on anyone. But some commentators said, oh, well, that's your karma for your unsportsmanly conduct in an earlier round against an Israeli contender.
Now, let's talk about the US now. Donald Trump has called Kamala Harris's statement on the Gaza war disrespectful. Of course, the Vice President marked a very change of tone on the war last week. She declared she would not be silent about Palestinians, but also announced a ceasefire withdrawal plan. Lorin, Trump has said, I don't know how a person who is Jewish could actually vote for her. But what does Middle East policy look like under a possible Kamala Harris presidency, do you think?
I can't see it being hugely different to the similar approaches taken by Biden or Obama. So broadly supportive of Israel, but with frustrations and clashes with Israel's prime minister, in particular when it comes to Iran. So I think Iran is going to be the big issue, which is going to be a big stick and point of contention between Israel and a potential Harris presidency. I think a lot of Israelis across the political spectrum, that is, don't think the Democrats get the issue and get how much of a security threat Iran is to Israel, both in terms of its role destabilizing the wider Middle East, supporting groups like the Houthis, various militias in Iraq, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, this kind of what's called the Shia crescent across the Middle East of just destabilizing existing regimes there and sowing chaos. And of course, you've now got the added complication that they're apparently on the break of getting a nuclear weapon or sort of capacity for nuclear weapons, which is going to add some tensions to an already pretty tense region.
Very concerning indeed. Lorin Bell-Cross, we have to leave it there. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.